Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to spend some time reviewing the example essay for the rhetorical analysis assignment, just to give you some more insight into what I'm looking for, what these kind of essays are usually like, and what are some strong or effective things that you can do in your paper. So when I review a paper, I'm a firm believer that writers need two kinds of feedback. First, we need feedback about what's working. We shouldn't ever think that the whole thing needs to be thrown out or thrown away, so we want to know what's working, and to know what's working, we need to know what people understand from a paper, and what people like in a paper. So what seems like an interesting way to explain ideas. We need that information. We do also need information about what should be improved and some general direction as to how to improve it can be helpful. Sometimes it can be confusing if people are suggesting a solution that's very contrary to what your intention was. So sometimes we can think about those suggestions and reject them and do something else, but we do also need to know what's not working. So when I look at this example paper, first thing I see is the title. It says, "The Multiple Audiences of George H.W. Bush's Letter to Saddam Hussein." What I like about this title is it's really specific in terms of giving me an idea of what is going to happen in the paper. It's not simply a label. It doesn't say just rhetorical analysis paper or essay 1, right? So it's giving me some, as a reader, some indication of what ideas are going to be in the paper. Specifically, this phrase, "the multiple audiences," gives me some indication of the argument that's going to be made in the paper. So I like that it's descriptive and detailed. I think that's effective. I would add that sometimes it can be fun when writing a title to, especially for a rhetorical analysis, to also include like a quote from the paper that you're looking at. So it might then look something like, quote in parentheses or in quotation marks, and then with a colon, and then this would become like a subtitle for the paper. That's not required, it's just something that can be interesting. So next I'll move into the introduction here. It says, President George H.W. Bush's 1991, and I'll point out this is how you put a citation in for APA style. The year of publication should go in parentheses after the person's name, and you just want to get in the habit of doing that every single time you write the name of an author. So, Letter to Saddam Hussein, then President of Iraq, is anything but a simple piece of political rhetoric. The topic of the letter is direct and confrontational. On the surface, Bush directly calls upon Hussein to withdraw from Kuwait, and he lays out the potential impact should Hussein choose not to withdraw. So what I see the writer doing in these first couple of sentences is describing the text that they're working on, as well as bringing in some of those important context details. And then in these next couple of sentences, the writer transitions to the specific argument that they're going to make about the text. So, but when analyzed according to the rhetorical choices Bush makes in the letter, a complex rhetorical situation emerges. Bush writers, so we've got a typo here. That's not a big deal, but I might point that out if I'm giving someone feedback. So Bush writes to a dual audience in his letter and establishes credibility by developing a complex author position. And now I've got finally my thesis statement here. By the conclusion of the letter, Bush accomplishes multiple purposes by creating a complex rhetorical situation. So these details earlier in the paragraph kind of lead us to that thesis statement. So by the time I get there, it's not like out of left field. What I like about the thesis statement is that it's relatively open. So it gives this writer several things to talk about in the body of the paper. Based on the thesis statement, I need to know both what the multiple purposes for writing the letter are, as well as who the multiple audiences are, and how those two things work together in the document. So that's going to be more than a one paragraph paper, right? So that's opening things up for discussion. Okay, look at the first body paragraph too. So in this paragraph, we start with, while Bush's direct and primary audience is Saddam Hussein, Bush also calls upon a much larger secondary audience in the first sentence of the letter by identifying the world as the second party involved in the imminent war that the letter is written to prevent. So that's a complex sentence there with a lot of information in it, but it works well for doing a couple of things. It kind of refers us back to the idea from the introduction, but also gets us toward the point of this paragraph, so that makes it a good transition. Transition statements should always kind of summarize what you said and then state what you're going to say next. That's a really effective way to start papers in an essay. But what am I getting out of this? So it says our main audience is Saddam Hussein, and then it says that there's a second audience of the world, and that Bush is writing to both of those audiences with the purpose of preventing war. If all this is very confusing to you, you might very quickly look up the Kuwait War on Google, or the Iraqi War on Google. All right. Next, we've got Bush continues to write the letter directly to Hussein, using second person to address him and describe the choices before him. Bush also continues, however, to engage his secondary audience throughout the letter by referring to resolutions from the UN Security Council in 5 separate paragraphs. So that sentence is interesting because it's providing some really, or those two sentences, are providing some really specific details that support the assertion made in the transition topic sentence statement, right? So I've got like specific details looking at the language use. He uses second person to address Saddam Hussein, but he also keeps talking to the UN Security Council. So those are details that help support the main assertion or claim of the paragraph. And then finally we've got kind of this, let's look at this. The letter can even be interpreted to have tertiary audiences of the Iraqi and the American people, because the letter serves to justify military action should Hussein not comply with the conditions of the letter. So that kind of wraps up that this paragraph is about kind of identifying 3 different audiences that the letter is directed to. Something I like to do when I'm reviewing papers is, after reviewing my own papers, is kind of take a paragraph as a whole and try to identify what the main topic is. So the main topic here is that there are multiple audiences for this one document, and then I like to see if I can state that clearly in a few words or a sentence. If not, that means that my paragraph might have too many ideas in it, and I might want to take some of those ideas and put them in another paragraph. So let's also briefly look at the conclusion of this paper. In the conclusion, the writer says, while the primary and literal purposes of the letter is to call upon Iraq to withdraw from Kuwait and to outline the consequences of non-compliance, Bush accomplishes additional purposes directly related to his additional audiences and the complex author position he has established. So what's nice about this sentence, again, it's kind of a mouthful, there's a lot of ideas there, but it relates us back directly to the kind of three important ideas that were brought up in the introduction and in that initial thesis statement, with the statement that he's able to accomplish multiple purposes by using this complex rhetorical situation. So this sentence reminds us of that complex situation and the many purposes that the writer is trying to achieve, right? So as I continue to read through the conclusion, I get kind of a summary of the main points from the body of the paper. And then this last sentence here, the construction of a letter with a complex audience and author allows Bush to address multiple purposes that support future action. So it's kind of a nice summarizing sentence that wraps up the argument overall. We would call this closed form writing because the argument kind of or the essay begins with an argument statement, the thesis, and then it ends in the same place, bringing us back to the thesis. So it's kind of like we've gone in a circle, but now we understand how somebody arrived at that thesis statement better, and we might have even been brought over to agree with their viewpoint.